You won't believe what just went down in the explosive Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni and Wayfair lawsuit, because this time the judge completely shut her down. For months, Blake has been throwing out subpoenas like confetti, accusing anyone remotely connected to Justin of being part of some massive online smear campaign. But this week, the court finally drew the line, and it was brutal. Here's what happened. Blake Lively tried to drag a private intelligence firm called Sourced Intelligence into her case. If you've never heard of them, they're the kind of company that sounds straight out of a spy movie, specializing in background checks, reputation management, and digital cleanup operations. Blake claimed they were secretly working with Justin Baldoni and Wayfair to destroy her reputation online. Dramatic, right? The only problem, she had no proof whatsoever. According to newly released court documents, Judge Lyman ruled that Blake's accusations were based on mere speculation. He made it crystal clear, courts don't authorize invasive discovery without evidence. Translation, her fishing expedition just hit a wall. And honestly, this is becoming a pattern for Blake. She's subpoenaed more than 100 people and companies, everyone from Perez Hilton to Wayfair's legal team, even small content creators, and accusing them of being part of some dark conspiracy. Every time someone pushes back or brings in lawyers, she drops the case and retreats. But this latest ruling changes everything. It's the court officially saying, enough is enough. Because for the first time, the cracks in Blake's legal strategy are showing. This isn't just one bad ruling. It's a glimpse into how weak her entire case really is. Let's break it down. Blake Lively's lawsuits have never been about justice. They've been about control. She's been using the legal system like a PR weapon, trying to silence anyone who dares to criticize her or defend Baldoni. Every subpoena is a warning shot, every accusation a headline. But when the spotlight turns back on her, she folds. And that's exactly what just happened. When the ACLU stepped in to defend Perez Hilton, Blake quietly withdrew her subpoena. When YouTubers and journalists started hiring lawyers, she backed off again. It's the same cycle: make a big scene, then disappear when challenged. Now, with this sourced intelligence ruling, the court isn't buying her story anymore. Because here's what the documents show. Sourced intelligence did work with Wayfair's attorneys, but only for basic investigative background checks. Nothing illegal. Nothing personal, and definitely nothing close to a smear campaign. They even swore under oath that they had no records, messages, or reports related to any anti-Blake operation. And Judge Lyman agreed, saying Blake's entire theory was built on unsupported speculation. In legal terms, that's devastating. Because when a judge says your claims have no factual basis, it's not just a rejection. It's a public embarrassment. This isn't a strategic loss. It's a warning shot from the court. Stop wasting time and throwing mud. And here's the irony. Every time Blake tries to accuse others of running a smear campaign, she ends up damaging her own reputation instead. Instead of looking like a victim, she's now being seen as a Hollywood star gone rogue, desperate to control a narrative that keeps slipping away. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is doing the opposite. No leaks, no attacks, no PR circus. Just quiet professionalism, and every ruling in his favor makes him look stronger. So what started as a lawsuit about justice is quickly turning into something else, a cautionary tale about what happens when power, ego, and paranoia collide in Hollywood. And the worst part? Blake Lively might not even realize how much damage she's doing to her own career until it's too late. Because this ruling isn't just a legal setback, it's a full-blown reality check for Blake Lively and her legal team. What Judge Lyman just made clear is simple. Courts don't run on celebrity ego or emotional storytelling. They run on facts, and Blake's case doesn't have any. For months, she's been spinning a narrative that Justin Baldoni and Wayfair orchestrated some elaborate digital smear campaign to destroy her reputation. She's pointed fingers at creators, gossip sites, PR agencies, even private investigators, painting herself as the innocent victim of a Hollywood conspiracy. But every time the courts ask for proof, there's nothing. And now, with this sourced intelligence ruling, the illusion is falling apart. Think about it. If a judge is flat out saying your claims are built on speculation, that's not just a loss. It's the court quietly telling you that your story doesn't hold up. And that's the last thing Blake Lively's PR machine can afford right now. Behind the scenes, sources say her team has been scrambling to reframe the narrative, leaking statements, planting sympathetic headlines, and trying to shift attention away from the courtroom failures. But it's not working anymore. Even the outlets that once printed her side without question, People Magazine, News, the Daily Mail, are going quiet. No one wants to be the one defending a case that's collapsing in real time. And this is where things get dangerous for Blake. Because in Hollywood, perception is everything. You can lose a case and survive, but if the industry starts believing you're manipulative, reckless, or litigious, that's career poison. Executives stop calling. Brands back off. Co-stars distance themselves. The power couple image that she and Ryan Reynolds spent years perfecting, it starts to crumble. Ryan, of course, is still doing his best to keep up appearances, tweeting jokes, promoting brands, playing the lovable husband routine. But industry insiders are already whispering what Radar Online hinted at. The charm is wearing thin. Every time another court filing exposes the truth, it's not just Blake's reputation taking a hit, it's his too. Because make no mistake, Ryan is part of this story. Behind every legal move, every media leak, every strategic silence, there's a pattern. The two of them have built a reputation on controlling narratives, both on screen and off. But the problem with controlling a narrative is that eventually, reality catches up. And right now, reality is winning. Blake's courtroom tactics have gone from bold to desperate. Her PR strategies from polished to transparent. And the public, once willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, is starting to ask the one question she can't afford. What if Justin Baldoni was telling the truth all along? Because if he was, and if all this chaos, all these subpoenas, all these accusations were just noise, then Blake and Ryan's empire isn't just cracking. It's collapsing under its own weight. But the real twist? This case might not just destroy their public image. It could reshape how Hollywood handles reputation wars altogether. It was more than just a legal loss. It was a public warning shot. The court made one thing crystal clear. It will no longer entertain Blake Lively's paranoid fishing expeditions. But here's where things get truly fascinating. By targeting a firm like Sourced Intelligence, a company literally known for cleaning up reputations, Blake accidentally shined a harsh light back on herself. Because let's be honest, hasn't Blake and Ryan Reynolds' entire Hollywood empire been built on that same kind of image management? The irony is impossible to miss. And this ruling wasn't just about Sourced Intelligence, it exposed the cracks running through Blake's entire legal campaign. When this motion finally hit the courtroom, the tension was sky high. Blake's lawyers painted a cinematic picture: shadowy operatives, hidden networks, and mysterious campaigns all working behind the scenes to destroy her. They argued that Sourced Intelligence was the missing link, the key to proving that Justin Baldoni and Wayfair had orchestrated a coordinated smear effort. But when it came time for the judge to rule, the decision was brutal. Judge Lyman didn't buy a word of it. According to official court filings, the judge ruled that Blake's accusations were based on nothing more than mere suspicion. And in the legal world, suspicion means nothing. Citing Rule 26, the rule that governs civil discovery, he explained that a party can only demand documents that are both relevant and supported by a factual foundation. Blake had neither. Then came the line that sent shockwaves through the case: mere speculation cannot support discovery. That one sentence cut straight through Blake's entire strategy. For months, she's been tossing out subpoenas and accusing anyone who so much as liked to tweet about her of being part of a grand conspiracy. But now the court has officially called her out, saying her theories aren't evidence, they're fiction. To make matters worse, Sourced Intelligence's founding partner filed a sworn declaration denying every single one of Blake's claims. He explained that the company had done nothing more than basic, routine background checks for Wayfair's attorneys, perfectly legal, completely standard. No smear campaigns, no digital manipulation, no secret networks. Their work, in his words, was limited, legal, and professional. In other words, boring. The digital hitmen Blake tried to expose didn't exist. Instead of finding her smoking gun, Blake ended up looking reckless, desperate, and unprepared. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni and his team quietly walked away with another win, solidifying the image that's been growing all along. He's calm and focused while she's spiraling. But the biggest twist? This ruling doesn't just weaken one subpoena. It threatens to unravel her entire legal campaign. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Blake Lively's obsession with reputation management isn't limited to this lawsuit. It's the foundation of her and Ryan Reynolds' entire Hollywood image. Think about it. For years, they've built their brand as the perfect couple. Glamorous, charming, relatable. The witty Instagram banter. The matching red carpet looks. The carefully timed interviews. It's not coincidence. It's strategy. Behind every photo and every headline sits a network of PR handlers, brand consultants, and yes, reputation managers. So when Blake accuses others of manipulating narratives or cleaning up images, it rings hollow. Because she and Ryan have been doing it better and longer than anyone else. The hypocrisy is staggering. It's like accusing someone of rigging the game while you're the one who designed the rules. In Hollywood, nearly every major star works with firms like Sourced Intelligence, not to smear people, but to control how stories are told. It's business as usual. But Blake's mistake was turning that routine industry practice into a wild accusation. And in doing so, she's drawn attention to the one thing she's always tried to hide, just how much of her perfect image is managed behind the scenes. Now fans are starting to catch on. Comment sections are filled with people calling out the double standards. Entertainment analysts are saying what others won't, that Blake's campaign isn't about justice anymore. It's about image preservation. And every failed subpoena, every courtroom rejection, makes her look less like a victim and more like a celebrity unraveling under pressure. The judge's ruling wasn't just a procedural defeat, it was a mirror, reflecting back everything Blake Lively has been trying to conceal. If she keeps pressing this strategy, she won't just lose her case. She could lose the very reputation she's spent her entire career protecting. But the real fallout, the one Hollywood insiders are whispering about, is just beginning. Because this ruling doesn't just hurt Blake's case. It might change how the public sees every celebrity who plays the same game, because the ripple effect from this loss didn't stop at the courthouse doors. It spread across Hollywood like wildfire. For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been seen as the gold standard of celebrity couples. Every magazine cover, every red carpet appearance, every interview seemed to reinforce the image of a picture-perfect partnership. They were the couple everyone wanted to be, beautiful, charming, and untouchable. But now, after this courtroom embarrassment, the illusion is starting to crack. Industry insiders are whispering that Hollywood is quietly turning on them. The same producers, PR execs, and agents who once couldn't stop praising the couple's media savvy are now questioning whether Blake's increasingly erratic behavior is becoming a liability. Because let's be real, in a town built on optics, bad press is poison. And when that bad press starts coming from your own actions in open court, there's no PR spin in the world that can make it disappear. According to several reports, people close to the situation say that Blake's legal tactics have alienated allies and created unnecessary enemies. Studios don't like risk, and right now, Blake is looking like one. The irony? She's suing to protect her reputation, and in doing so, she's destroying it. Even Ryan Reynolds, once the internet's favorite husband, isn't immune. His brand has always relied on humor, self-awareness, and the perception that he's a down-to-earth guy despite his fame. But when your partner is making headlines for paranoia and hypocrisy, the shine starts to fade. People are asking, how much of their perfect marriage is real, and how much is just another Hollywood performance? Because here's the uncomfortable truth no one in their circle wants to say out loud. Their brand depends on being liked. Not respected, not feared, liked. They've built entire businesses on relatability. From gin to fashion to film, their success is rooted in charm and public goodwill. But that goodwill is evaporating fast. And it's not just fans who are noticing. PR analysts are already calling this one of the biggest self-inflicted image collapses in recent Hollywood history. One insider put it bluntly, "You can't play America's sweetheart while filing lawsuits that make you look paranoid and petty." That's the problem. Blake isn't just fighting a legal battle anymore. She's fighting a narrative war. And in Hollywood, the narrative is everything. Because for every news outlet covering her fight for justice, there are 10 more dissecting her every move. The angry statements, the courtroom losses, the contradictions between her public persona and her private conduct. The media is shifting tone. Words like unstable, defensive, and obsessive are replacing graceful and empowered. And with every headline that questions her credibility, the balance of power in her feud with Justin Baldoni tilts further against her. Justin, meanwhile, is staying quiet, the smartest move he could make. No outbursts, no media rants, no social media sniping, just silence. And in contrast to Blake's frantic energy, that silence looks powerful. It makes him look like the grown-up in the room. Hollywood pays attention to that kind of contrast. Producers, investors, and PR strategists are pragmatic people. They follow perception, and perception is shifting fast. People who once saw Blake as a bankable, brand-safe star are now quietly reconsidering their partnerships. It's not that Hollywood suddenly hates Blake Lively. It's that she's becoming too complicated to manage. And that's the one thing every power player fears, Unpredictability. Because in the entertainment business, your reputation isn't just part of your career. It is your career. Once that slips, it doesn't matter how famous you are or how many magazine covers you've graced. The machine moves on without you. And that's what's happening now. Behind closed doors, Hollywood's tone is changing. The same people who once gushed about the Blake and Ryan brand are now calling it volatile. Deals are slowing down. PR teams are advising caution. Studios are waiting to see how her next move plays out before committing to anything long-term. It's a slow, quiet turning of the tide, but it's unmistakable. And if Blake's team doesn't course-correct soon, the brand she and Ryan built over a decade could unravel completely. Because as one insider told Variety, the public can forgive scandal. They can forgive mistakes, but they can't forgive phoniness. Once people stop believing you're genuine, it's over. That's the danger Blake Lively faces now. Not losing a lawsuit, but losing the very thing that made her powerful in the first place. Her image. They spill out into the public eye. And when it comes to Blake Lively's latest loss, the reaction has been swift and brutal. For Justin Baldoni and the Wayfair team, this ruling was a win not just on paper, but in perception. Every time the judge shuts down one of Blake's wild accusations, Justin comes across as steady, rational, and focused on facts. He doesn't have to shout. He doesn't have to throw accusations. The court does the talking for him. And that quiet confidence is winning over observers. Blake, on the other hand, is digging herself into a deeper hole. To fans watching from the outside, her actions no longer look like the fight of a wronged woman. They look like the desperate moves of someone losing control. The endless subpoenas, the sweeping accusations, the paranoia about shadowy agents. It all makes her case seem less credible by the day. And let's not forget Ryan Reynolds. His name might not be on every legal filing, but in the court of public opinion, he's guilty by association. The Hollywood power coup's carefully crafted image is unraveling. What once looked like playful banter and charm now feels like a PR mask hiding something darker. For years, they've sold audiences the fantasy of being the industry's golden couple. But this lawsuit is shattering that illusion. Meanwhile, online chatter is shifting. Instead of sympathy, Blake is getting criticism. Commentators point out the hypocrisy of her targeting a reputation firm while using the same tactics herself. Fans question whether she's trying to weaponize the courts to silence critics rather than seek justice. And every ruling against her adds fuel to that fire. This wasn't just a legal defeat. It was a public relations disaster. And with her credibility slipping, Blake faces a new problem. The court of public opinion may already have reached its verdict. But the real question now is how much further can this go before the court itself decides she's gone too far? Blake Lively's courtroom losses aren't just piling up. They're building towards something much bigger. Judges have patience, but that patience has limits. And with every failed subpoena, every speculative claim, and every dramatic overreach, Blake is inching closer to a breaking point. Think about what just happened. A federal judge flat out told her that speculation isn't enough. That's not just a denial, it's a warning. If she keeps flooding the courts with baseless accusations, she risks something far more damaging than a lost motion. She could face sanctions. She could be ordered to pay legal fees. And worst of all, the court could start treating her entire case as less credible. That's the real danger here. By crying wolf again and again, Blake risks undermining her own claims, even the ones that might have had weight. Judges don't like being dragged into wild goose chases, and they won't let a celebrity use the courts as a personal PR weapon. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has everything to gain. Every time Blake lashes out, Justin looks calmer, more professional, and more believable. He doesn't need to manufacture drama. The facts keep falling his way, and as public opinion shifts, he's not just winning in court. He's winning in the court of public opinion where reputations are made and destroyed. And where does this leave Ryan Reynolds? For years, he and Blake have profited from their golden couple image. But now their empire looks shaky. If Blake keeps pushing these baseless claims, she's not just dragging herself down, she's dragging Ryan with her. The power couple brand that once seemed untouchable could collapse under the weight of their own arrogance. So here's the question. Will Blake finally back off? Or will she keep doubling down until the court itself decides enough is enough? Because if this latest ruling is any sign, the next step might not just be another loss. It could be the end of her legal credibility altogether. If you've been following this case, you know the story is only getting messier. Do you think Blake Lively has already gone too far, or is this just the beginning of her downfall? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand. And if you want the latest updates on every twist and turn of this courtroom drama, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Because if the courts are already losing patience, the next chapter could be the most explosive, and that's where things stand. Blake Lively's legal crusade, once framed as a fight for truth, now looks more like a slow-motion PR disaster. The court's message was clear: no more speculation, no more fishing expeditions. And Hollywood? It's watching closely, because in an industry built on image, perception is power. And right now, Blake's is slipping fast. Justin Baldoni's calm silence is doing more damage than any counterattack ever could. The question now isn't whether Blake wins the case, it's whether she can survive the fallout. When the headlines fade and the cameras move on, will there be anything left of the perfect couple brand she and Ryan built? We'll be following this story closely as it develops. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update in this unfolding Hollywood saga. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay curious, stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next one.